NASCAR is finally back after 3 months of boredom. An off-season where I saw 2 computers crash, I got a cold, and I had to deal with all the controversy of the NFL and other negative stuff people like to force on us on Twitter. But anyways, finally some positivity. NASCAR is back in America. And the season starts with NASCAR's version of the Super Bowl, minus all the controversies. The 60th running of the Great American Race, the Daytona 500. And we have to desperately try to keep all the Dale Earnhardt Jr. Fairweather bandwagon fans. That's why Alex Bowman is starting on the pole in his new Chevrolet Camaro. But anyways, the race started and the beginning was absolutely phenomenal. We saw 3 wide racing within the first 5 laps. NASCAR put on a fantastic first stage with on edge of your seat racing and daring moves. Sadly, the race is 500 miles, not 150. The first stage ended with an overly aggressive driving by Ricky Stenhouse Jr., but thank goodness he saved it. However, Checkers or Wreckers decided to overcorrect the car for the 10,000th time and decided to start a 6-car pileup. Way to go, Eric Jones. Eric Jones took out fellow teammate Daniel Suarez, Kyle Larson, William Byron, Ty Dillon, and Jimmy Johnson. Jimmy, great speed weeks to you. You batted 1,000 with the wall at Daytona, and you crashed more than GoDaddy Gal. At this rate, Lowe's might pull out after 2018 because of your poor performance. The positive for Lowe's and the 48 team, however, is they are not owned by Brian Cornell. You have that much. They will keep winning, and Lowe's would keep renewing. Stage 2 featured much of the same racing with intense side-by-side racing. The best part is they haven't crashed yet.
Are you kidding?
Yes, she's gone. GoDaddy Gal is gone. She will never win a cup race. She will never get a top 5 finish. Take that, Danica fans. Yes, the wicked GoDaddy Gal is finally gone. As for the crash, come on, Brad Keselowski. What was that? But at the same time, I kind of feel bad for the guy. He's going to get so many death threats from all the hashtag DI9 fans of Chase Elliott. I'm sure Brad Keselowski is wanted in Dawsonville, Georgia, and I wouldn't even step foot in that town if I were you. Anyways, for Chase Elliott, you gotta feel bad for him at the same time. But I think they should just introduce a new hashtag for Chase Elliott. Hashtag cursed.
Chase Elliott climbs out.
And so obviously the stages are dominated by Fords. We saw Kurt Busch win stage 1 and Ryan Blaney win stage 2. You know, after that, basically the action decided to die down. And that led us into stage 3. The only thing interesting about the first half of the final stage was parade racing, Ryan Blaney's Menards car, and Smoky Mountain barbecue fried chicken from KFC. William Byron decided to blow a tire and cause some drama with 10 laps to go. Nice job, Willie B. You crashed the Exalta car more times today than Jeff Gordon did in 2 years. Whatever, at least the single file parade is over. Green flag waves with 7 laps to go. They're side-by-side racing for the win until Kurt Busch gets turned and crashes the entire field. Among the destroyed is the last remaining Hendrick car in Alex Bowman. Great speed weeks, Hendrick. Wow, nice job. You tore up 8 cars with your lackluster performance. And you guys might say, well, life's a beach, and then you drive, but what a weak performance by NASCAR's powerhouse. The chemistry between these 4 drivers was shown perfectly at Daytona. When they blew a 3-1 advantage in Duel 1, you had the advantage over Toyota, and within 10 laps, the only person up front was William Byron. So far, nothing has changed from 2017, except they've cashed in on the legacy of at least 3 of their cars. Enjoy the millions in crash damages. Martin Truex Jr., great choke up in the 500 again. 2016 saw him lose to Denny Derails in the closest 500 finish ever. And then 2017 saw him lose the lead in the closing laps. And now this pathetic maneuver past wrecked machinery resulted in Truex Jr.'s 2018 casualty. Well, at least he has the championship, but come on. Guess what that means? It's NASCAR overtime. Yesterday's race featured 5 overtimes, and it was a great finish. As a NASCAR fan, we should hope for the same. The green flag waves, and wow, this is setting up to be an iconic finish. Eric Almirola, he's leading the pack of cars 3 wide. Not only is it Almirola's first race away from the handshake away in RPM, the 10 car is actually competitive. Almirola could win his first race and make all those Danica lovers salty and bitter. However, he has a lap left to make it. Can he hold on? Come on, Almirola. Come on, you can do it.
Gonna have to be quick. Almirola up to cover. Dillon, where will he go? Get there. Oh, into Almirola.
Bummer. At least he had a chance to win, but whatever. Who on earth won this race?
20 years ago. 20 years of trying for Earnhardt. He won the Daytona 500. Austin Dillon.
Are you kidding me? Austin Dillon is going to be a Daytona 500 champion. Austin Dillon. Richard Children Racing did something right? Are you kidding me? What type of world is this? Are you kidding me? The Chicago Clowns win a World Series. MTJ is a NASCAR champion. And now this? How are we supposed to live? Hey, at least we have a cool story with the 3 winning 20 years after Dale Sr. won it. I bet he's smiling from the clouds.
Taking home the checkered flag tonight. Austin Dillon.
What image am I supposed to take from this NASCAR? Dale Sr. celebrating a Daytona 500 win, or Jake Paul destroying the city of Los Angeles with his group of Jake Paulers? More tradition tarnished by a bunch of millennials. Well, at least the old school NASCAR fans are happy. Yeah, Dale Sr., number 3 Chevrolet back in the victory circle. Woohoo! I found my replacement for Dale Jr. So the Daytona 500 was a fantastic race. People are complaining about how, the Daytona 500 isn't racing. NASCAR is rigged because, every 3 years, some Dale Sr. moment happens. There's too many crashes. I'm done with NASCAR. Yes, sadly, a spectacular race like the Daytona 500 got so much controversy. For me, this race had everything the fans and the casual fans wanted. Great side-by-side racing, crashes that shook up the game and added intensity, and a finish that will be remembered for years. Sure, there were some issues, but my overall satisfaction is high. NASCAR, this year's Daytona 500 was not cancer, and I hope you keep this up at plate tracks. And so next up, we head to Atlanta for the Folds of Honor QuikTrip 500. Why we are in Atlanta in February is a question too complicated for Brian France to answer. But anyways, today will be the first true test of speed. And to quote Kyle Busch, the first real racetrack. The race starts out with Ryan Newman, of all people, winning this race. Yeah, Richard Children Racing is having the best car of the season so far. They could get 2 of their drivers in the playoffs right off the bat. Meanwhile, we see some awesome racing action with comers and goers throughout this 36-car field. Alex Bowman goes from 19th to 8th, and then he goes back to 19th. Are you kidding me? Man, that is awesome. And it was your on-the-edge racing that I've longed to see at a 1.5-mile track. Eventually, the Ford Parade, led by Kevin Harvick, takes command. Yeah, Ford, the manufacturer that was going to take a drubbing, now has 7 cars in the top 10. Jimmy Johnson then decides to channel his inner Danica Patrick inside his soul and crashed for the 4th time in 4 races. Great job, Jimmy Johnson. This was just more sparks to add to the dumpster fire called Hendrick Motorsports in 2018. Besides Chase Elliott once again bailing out the team and getting a lucky top 10, this is the biggest flop of 2018 so far. Yet, at the same time, it's only the first 2 races. Harvick and Keselowski win the first 2 stages in the race, meaning Ford has a clean sweep of all 4 stages run this year. Besides some strategy mixed into the equation, the first 3/4 of the final stage were kind of boring. Harvick found his groove, and he was just too freaky fast for the field. Luckily, the meteor struck Trevor Bayne's engine, and NASCAR's dying dinosaur saw one of its cars go extinct in Georgia. Everyone also jumped off the Bubba Wallace hype train that was created last week at Daytona whenever he crashed and went a couple laps down. Nice job keeping up the legacy, Bubba. And once again, Richard Petty, handshake away. Yeah, look at all the sponsors they're getting. NASCAR Racing Experience. Oh, come on, really? The Cosmopolitan in Las Vegas. Yeah, you're sad if you're getting a local sponsor for one of your races. Man, you don't know how to run a business. To sum things up, it sets up the race for a thrilling restart that eventually turns into a Kevin Harvick cruise for the win. Personally, I thought the Atlanta race was just decent. Nothing bad happened in the race, but at the same time, nothing spectacular happened either. It felt like your generic Atlanta race where the drivers would fight the track and nothing much. With that said, however, hopefully they don't repave this track. I know it will likely get repaved. It will in the distant future. But my worry is they turn this place into a smooth track like Texas or Kansas. It becomes really boring. Atlanta has only one event on the schedule, and one big risk can turn fans away for good, and they could end up like North Wilkesboro. NASCAR can't afford to fail a big market like Atlanta. You see half the field. It's a lot of big-name sponsors sponsoring the cars. You know, you go to a place like New Hampshire. I noticed the ISM Connect 300. There were a lot of random sponsors, like the Road to Race Day, Sirius XM. It just felt like an unsponsored event. Atlanta normally has fairly good sponsorships. A lot of the top sponsors in NASCAR flock to Atlanta because it's such an industrial city. There's a lot of corporate headquarters there, and NASCAR needs to keep it. And we better hope they either keep it the way it is or they add some characteristics to make it a unique mile and a half. So, where does the playoff picture stand after 2 races in this young season? Currently, we have Austin Dillon and Kevin Harvick locked into the playoffs, even though there are 24 races remaining in the season. It's not like either driver could throw away the rest of the regular season and still make the playoffs. So far, 9 Fords, 9 are represented in the 10-race playoffs, as well as 4 Chevrolets and 3 Toyotas. There are also a lot of surprises in the top 16 in the playoff grid, such as Paul Menard, Bubba Wallace, and Michael McDowell. Notable drivers out of the playoffs right now are the 2 young Toyota drivers in Eric Jones and Daniel Suarez, Jamie McMurray, who will just choke up in the round of 16 again, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., who will just win a plate track, and all 4, yeah, you heard that, all 4 of the Hendrick Motorsports drivers aren't in the playoffs. You gotta think, there's gotta be at least one that's like 15th. Yeah, none. None of them are in the top 15, 16 in points. In fact, Jimmy Johnson is last place in points amongst full-time drivers. Greg Gaulding, Mark Thompson are ahead of him in points. Yeah, that's absolutely sad for Hendrick Motorsports. So obviously, the entire Hendrick Motorsports organization and Chevrolet need to step it up. The Camaro is still new, sure, but they have been a non-factor so far in 2018. Besides Chase Elliott looking into a top 10, in terms of Chevrolet itself, doing miraculous at Daytona, yeah. And Ford dominated that race anyways. And then Kyle Larson, he was the best Chevrolet in that race at Atlanta. That's the only things you have going for you right now. I also believe Toyota has been lacking a little bit in the first 2 races. Martin Truex Jr. was a non-factor in Atlanta. He had about a 7th place car all day. It's pretty disappointing, you know, seeing how Martin Truex Jr. won 7.5-mile races last season, and he really wasn't up front. But at the same time, it's good to finally see some parity at these lovely 1.5-mile racetracks. Joe Gibbs Racing has also produced mixed results in the first 2 races. Kyle Busch and Denny Hamlin have been consistent threats so far in 2018, but Eric Jones and Daniel Suarez, yeah, they're still around mid-pack. Both manufacturers have been largely mediocre to Ford so far this season, yet they could either be hiding something or they are still learning how to apply the downforce to their 2018 design. Remember, these 2 cars are the most aerodynamic cars on the track, and they're probably just getting used to it. I mean, at the same time, Toyota had struggles. Joe Gibbs didn't even win a race until New Hampshire. But I mean, it's still kind of alarming because it seemed like Toyota did a little bit better than Chevrolet did at Atlanta this year, which is kind of sad. Time will tell, but believe it or not, the wooden box car in the 2013 or 2016 Ford Fusion is the team to beat after 2 races. So that wraps up the February 2018, the good, the bad, and the ugly. This month was a fairly good month, and now we're on to March for the Pennzoil 400 at Las Vegas, the Ticket Guardian 500, I believe it is, at ISM, the Auto Club 400 at the Auto Club Speedway, and the STP 500 at Martinsville Speedway. Those should be some good racing, and I'll review that at the end of March.
Danica Sue, this is for you.